I'm going to read a book now called A Call at Dawn. A Call at Dawn by Kelvin Rowe. Forward. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. Proverbs 15. I am quite without what is conventionally called education. I have been told it was not intended that I should have, for academic education does not manifest spiritual and intellectual humility, but more often than not it fetters and binds, and acts as a block to a higher understanding of life. My education did not really begin until 1954. My background is an unpretentious one. My life has been an ordinary one. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, March the 14th of the year 1908, the seventh member of the family. At the age of 4, my mother and her children moved to Hollywood, California. Being a nurse and an obstetrician, she established and operated the Hollywood Sanitarium for assisting women in childbirth. I grew up in the Los Angeles, Hollywood area and quit school after attending the 9th grade at Virgil Junior High School. I then acquired a truck driving job for myself. My mother wanted me to be a doctor or electrician, but like most children I was contrary to what Mother wished me to become. When I was about 16, Mother moved to Good Hope Acres in the country. I spent many happy days swimming and boating at nearby Lake Elsinore, during which time I miraculously escaped drowning in a whirlpool. I was later employed for a time in a Safeway grocery store, and after that drove freight line between Los Angeles and Texas. I did not escape the Depression unscathed during WPA, Works Progress Administration. I was employed as a senior clerk and timekeeper. Succeeding this job, I went to Los Angeles and drove truck for my brother, later joining the operating engineers in 1940. I worked under their jurisdiction as heavy equipment operator until 4 years ago when I sought and received employment with the State of California Division of Forestry in 1954. In the early part of 1958, while working at Iron Mountain, California, my life was again miraculously spared, the difference this time being that a voice spoke to me. Nearly a year later, I realized that had been my first contact by mental telepathy with the spaceman. 7.5 months after my first mental communication, I had my first objective contact, person to person. About 5 months afterwards, I rode the great spaceways at a rate of speed that defies all imagination. There you have my life history all in a nutshell, and for the most part an uneventful one up until 1958. No doubt you are wondering why I have been contacted by people from other planets. At this time I can only reveal that it is due to a cause set up in a past incarnation. I do not expect you to take my narration for granted, but in reading it may you do so with diligence, weigh it and consider and taste well thereof, failing not to read between the lines. I fully realize that many are not ready to accept such a story as mine as one of fact, and will only scoff at it. But no individual's personal opinion will alter the truth. Personally, I shall not feel badly if you choose to remain a skeptic, for everyone is free to believe or disbelieve. On the other hand, I know that there are those who are seeking and who are ready, and will therefore find that special spark of truth herein that will cause their dim inner flicker of light to kindle and glow like a candle, and grow ever brighter. It will glow in the dark, and the light will banish that darkness. Undoubtedly, there will be those who feel that I have done nothing but find fault with my people. If I condone my fellow man in their mistakes, then I help to strengthen the condition. I have pointed out the things that are detrimental to their progress, knowing that in trying to explain the truth to the world that I'll get it in the neck from every direction. I have spoken in the nature of reproof that the unawakened may be alerted to the true condition of man's existence today and realize that inherently man does not desire destruction or to wage wars, but is driven by his fears, and therefore we must become more concerned with the Creator and His divine laws than we are concerned with man-made laws. We do not necessarily need repudiation of present religions, but a realization of the one true religion, that taught by Jesus the Christ to his disciples. I am aware that beings of other planets are clear out of our realm of limited thinking, that it is for most of us, which means it is difficult to accept them, are their words of wisdom. But they are among us in the fields of science, in government circles, in all walks of life, quietly guiding those few willing to make this a better world. Unbeknown to men of earth, they have, the past several years, rendered indispensable service in many ways, without which we undoubtedly would not be here today. They know that in the beginning mankind did not learn his lesson, and since has denied the things of spirit, failing to serve his Creator, and instead consciously or unconsciously trying to be a creator without knowing the power he is exercising. They stress that we do not understand the nature of the Creator, and that we lack this understanding because of the shackles of tradition and belief which we must cast off, and in place establish a spiritual freedom. It is most important that we become aware of the godlike potentials within ourselves. Man walking in darkness needs guidance and counsel through the time of trouble. The tremendous upheaval and disorder is fast approaching, in which man will be hopeless in his own power. The Bible tells us Satan will be loosed for a little while before being bound. In a short while he will be loosed upon the face of the earth, and great calamities will befall man that will bring him to the point where no longer will the material have value to him. Already the dark forces of the Antichrist are being marshaled against the forces of the Prince of Light. Turn not your back upon this day, but take your rightful place. Having absolute faith, there is a plan which will raise man out of his limitations, and fear not, for the forces of light will triumph over the forces of darkness. We are entering the final days before the emergence of the world's Savior, when the Christ consciousness comes in the flesh to the entire world. Only when all people in the world are brought into oneness of purpose will the Christ kingdom manifest in the world, and mankind know the beauty of peace and brotherhood. Yes, dear reader, I know it seems very hard that mankind must pass through chaos. Yet we must remember that God gave man the power to manifest that which he wishes, and so he was not compelled to do it, but did so by his own actions. And today he reaps his harvest. He feels the effects of his own causes. Throughout the long ages, man as a mass has futilely struggled against the force of negation. But passing along the road of darkness, he enters that path from which he sprang. At last, the victory he has longed for is at hand, and an ordered, peaceful world lies ahead. I leave with you the following verse from Romans. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable will of God. And the thesis for this book is now here. This was a poem that Kelvin was given by the Space Brothers. And it goes this way. Accept thy brother and sister from the land. The Creator will give thy hand. Learn thyself from the heart. The Creator will do thy part. You will then know nature and become free. You will know what to do when you come to thee. Now there's some acknowledgments. All quotations, unless otherwise stated, are taken from material printed by the Brotherhood of the White Temple. White refers to white light, which is all-inclusive of all colors. Since the brothers of our sister planets have informed me that the teachings of the Brotherhood of the White Temple are universal and the highest source of truth available to our Western Hemisphere, I am indebted to the Brotherhood of the White Temple for underlying ideals and principles used throughout this book in explaining some of the many things told to me by the brothers from outer space.